This is your sign to stop waiting. If you've been looking for something to tell you to just go, to just jump, to just move forward, this is your sign to do it. I recently moved to New York City from New Orleans. I've been living in New Orleans for 5 years. I'm originally from Baton Rouge, then got my bachelor's in upstate New York. Have honestly been in New York for a lot of my childhood as well, because my family's from Trinidad, and like the typical Caribbean family, back and forth from Trinidad to New York. So much money in plane tickets, child. But I have so much family in New York, so I've always been here for summers, winters, all that kind of stuff, holidays, Thanksgiving, all that kind of stuff. But I'm back. And the reason why I'm back is because sometimes we wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and we wait in one spot and we say, when I do this, when I hit this, when this happens, is going to be the moment that I move. It's going to be the moment that I shift. It's going to be the moment that everything starts aligning for me. When I do this, when I do that, this is going to be the moment. You create the moment. You create the moment. And when we're intimate enough with the present moment to realize that we have always been supported, and repeat that after me and put that shit in the comments. I have always been supported. I've always been supported. And if you're looking for evidence of that, if you're like, Corday, girl, where is the support? Yeah, if you're still alive right now, you're still being supported. If you have breath in your body right now, you have options that you don't even realize are here right now. And so if you're waiting for something to happen in order for you to make a move, you are consciously or unconsciously choosing waiting. You're choosing confusion. You're choosing inaction. You're choosing to be in that state. You're choosing limbo. You're choosing the waiting game. You're consciously choosing that. And sometimes when we make that leap is going to be the moment that everything else shifts. And sometimes it's not going to be immediate, because it's not supposed to be. Because as you make shifts, there are parts of you that literally will die, will decay, will be put to rest. And before you even think about what you want, the universe, Olodumare, spirit, is already bringing you what is in alignment with you. Before you even think about it, it's already being brought to you. It's already being brought to you. You're always being positioned and repositioned and repositioned to be in alignment. But we bring ourselves out of alignment by convincing ourselves that maybe we need something else. Or maybe we need this, and maybe we need that, in order for us to move forward in the natural progression of what we desire and what our heart is telling us to do. And so I spent 5 years in New Orleans, and I love New Orleans. I love New Orleans. And when you transition and when you change, you're going to hold a lot of emotions. And as spiritual people, sometimes when we feel all of these varying, emotions, sadness and grief and this and that, sometimes we think, oh, it's our intuition telling us that we went the wrong way, that we're doing something wrong. But in reality, two things can exist at the same time. And I've been talking about this a lot on my Instagram, on TikTok and stuff. This energy of and, this statement of and, is the most important statement that you could ever use. Just the simple statement of and. Because the more we increase our heart's capacity to actually hold two opposing energies at the same time, the more that we can truly be within our own authenticity and our truth. So I left New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I left New Orleans. I originally moved to New Orleans in 2019 to pursue a master's in neuroscience. Finished that. Interesting experience, great experience. Originally was going to go into medical school or do a PhD or do something with that. And then I started a business while in my master's program, and I didn't expect it to go to be this, to be what it is. And there's something that's very interesting and very beautiful about New Orleans that people who have lived in New Orleans know. I've talked to so many of my friends about this. New Orleans, oh my goodness, it's a catalyst, it's a portal, it's a womb space. It's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful portal. but it's sticky. It's sticky. Time goes by so slow yet so fast in New Orleans. And years and years and years will go by, and you don't even know. You didn't even realize that the time went by. It is truly a meeting place, a place where the veil many times doesn't exist. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful place. But the thing about New Orleans is, and for me personally, I love New Orleans, but sometimes it felt like I was dragging through the mud to get to certain goals or certain things that I really wanted to accomplish. And I can't reiterate this enough. I love New Orleans, and I'm from Baton Rouge, if that's not clear, if y'all didn't know that. I'm from Baton Rouge, so only an hour away. So the energy of New Orleans is very beautiful. It's very different from Baton Rouge energy. Very different from Pulcherville energy, which is where my grandparents are from. Very different from rural country energy. You know, but New Orleans is just so beautiful. But I know in my spirit, in my heart, and I know you probably can relate to this too, I knew for years, I'm talking 3 years of me living in New Orleans, I kept saying, I want to move, I want to move, I want to move, I need to move, I need to move, I need to move. I kept saying that, I kept saying that. Got readings. That was coming up for me, child, like. And you may relate to this as well, of so deeply wanting something, but being so afraid of it. Being so afraid of what you want. Being so afraid of moving forward. Of being so afraid of change. Of having to step up to the plate. New Orleans was so comforting for me. Sticky, but sticky like honey. So comforting and sticky and warm and sweet. That's the energy of New Orleans. But as a fucking like I'm not triple air sign, but I'm a Gemini stellium. As someone who is a Gemini stellium, is a visionary, as someone who really knows I'm here to shake shit up. I'm here, and I've been shaking shit up. I knew I had to go somewhere that was gonna let my airiness flow. That was gonna let my energy flow. That was gonna let my essence flow. That was gonna be a little bit more fast paced. That was gonna allow me to be a little bit more free. And I found myself in New Orleans. My heart is opening as I'm saying this to you guys. I found myself in New Orleans. I lived the same day every single day over and over and over again. I kid you not. I lived the same day every day. The same day, y'all. Get up, go to yoga, work, teach, sleep. And I did that for like a year. And it felt so good to be in my comfort zone, but there was a deep sense of knowing that my time was done. And you may relate to this too. You may be comfortable, but you know your time is done. Your time is done where you're at. It's done, babe. A year. I tried to switch it up so many different times, but it all felt the same. And so the grief comes up when you love something so much, but you know it's time to part ways with it. And just because you love it so much doesn't mean that you have to have it in your life for the rest of your life. The grief of loving something so much and then knowing that you have to move on. A lot of times as spiritual people, we'll tell ourselves that's our intuition talking, but in reality, that's our ego. That's our ego not wanting to change. The ego likes what it can predict. That's why it's always trying to predict how people will respond to you, how people will react to you. That's why it's always trying to predict what people are going to say, and well, don't do this because this is going to happen, and then don't do that, and then do this, and then do that, and then you're going to fail, and then you might as well just not do it. And But that's your ego. And when you know that something is not for you, it won't be a question, it'll be a statement. And so how you know it's time to move on, and if you're seeing this, it's time to move on, is a moment that you sense that feeling of longing in your body, longing for that timeline shift that a parallel version of you is already experiencing. I'm about to cry. A parallel version of you is already experiencing, but your awareness, your focus, your person here now is not. There's a longing. There's a longing that happens in your heart of something that you know you have not experienced, or that you know you are meant to experience, and that you know you are experiencing in another parallel reality, but you haven't made the jump yet. You haven't made the leap yet. You haven't made the transition yet. And so it's the longing of the separation of these two versions of yourself. And it's going to be uncomfortable when you first start, when you first make that transition out of the comfort zone. When you first make that transition, it's going to be so uncomfortable. There's going to be things that need to change. But how you know it's for you and how you know you have made the right decision is if it's just pushing you to be more of yourself. If it's just pushing you more into yourself. Maybe it's more discipline with yourself. Maybe it's more dedication to yourself and your work. I know that's a situation for me. More dedication, more devotion, more yes. It's not about what you commit to, it's about what you recommit to. And so, you know it's time to move on when you feel that longing from the separation of the selves. And you know it's time to move on when you notice yourself in the same pattern, not growing, not evolving, not changing, not shifting. And of course, you're gonna have feelings of like, maybe I made the wrong decision. Because at first, it'll feel like, oh, this is challenging. This is challenging. Like, did I make the right decision? It's not easeful. It's not easeful. Babe, some of the best things in life will not be easeful at first because they will challenge our egos. Because they will challenge your comfort zone. Because they'll challenge what your normal routine has been that has been keeping you in the same space. What got you there is going to keep you there. So even though you like it, it may not be fully for you. So what does it mean to feel this grief? What does it mean to feel the grief of something that you maybe have not experienced, or whatever the case? It means confronting that fear and still moving forward with fear in your back pocket. Asking, is this pushing me to just simply be more of myself? Is this pushing me to simply be more of who I already am? Is this pushing me out of hiding? Is this pushing me to my next level of authenticity, of expression, of creativity? Is this pushing me to where I've been scared to go? That's how you know. So you can hold the grief of leaving something at the same time that you carry the excitement of going somewhere new. And even if you make a decision and shit, don't pan out right. It's still an experience. You still get an experience point. There's no such thing as failing. There's only data collection. So are you allowing yourself to collect the necessary data? Are you allowing yourself to collect the data that's really going to allow you to meet you over and over and over again? You to see you. You to really understand who you really are. It's not going to be easy. But everything that you've been wanting is on the other side of the hard decision. everything that you've been wanting is on the other side of that decision that you know you need to make, but that you're scared of making, because the moment that you make it, you know you can't turn back. And instead of grieving, instead of sitting in that sadness, have a party for it. Celebrate it. Embrace it. Write a love letter to it. Celebrate the love that you had with the thing that you are now leaving. But realize that you always have more options than you think. So are you going to choose your options? Are you going to allow yourself to be reborn? Or are you going to continue to be in the same space? Don't let your ego run your life. Go where your heart is calling you to go. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Odabo.